The fuse has been lit, it's Wednesday night, Denise and Reg. Post Dynamite, come and get your Easter eggs, it's a dub. Middle of the week, it's AEW. Dynamic wrestling and end your night with us, it's a must. It's Dynamite, it might combust. Speak now, we're gonna give you all the recap. Live on YouTube is where you see that. The Cali connection with the feedback.
The California connection is here, and we are ready to talk AEW Dynamite, the November 1st edition. Guys, I am not here alone as always. I am joined by my co-host. He's the man, Righteous Reg.
In the building. Go ahead, continue your intro.
I was gonna say, I guess today, I was trying to think of a different word for nun. Madre.
Is there, what's a male nun?
Male nun, a mun?
A mun, okay, I'll be a mun. It's in the building. It's your boy, Righteous Reg, a mun, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, and your favorite podcaster. It's November 1st, Denise, but we're still dressed up. What's going on here?
So what's going on is that I really wanted to wear my Roderick Strong costume on the AEW Dynamite post show. So I had no choice but to schedule it for today, even though it's November 1st. But technically, we're still celebrating Day of the Dead. So I'm just going to count it. I'm just going to count it. Screw it. Screw it. There wasn't enough days for post shows and costumes and things. And plus, I figured it would be really fun. So here we are. People are calling you Father Reg.
No, somebody got it. Mega Duffy got it right. I'm Whoopi Goldberg from Sister Act.
Is that... I didn't know you were doing Whoopi Goldberg. I thought you were just a nun.
No, I'm Whoopi Goldberg. It's Sister Act.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, that is awesome. And you know what's funny? I've been waiting for months to do this. Are you ready for it? Reg!
Here. We built all these months of all these post shows up to this one moment. Me as Whoopi Goldberg, you as Roderick Strong, yelling Reg. We made it, Denise.
We definitely did, and I cannot wait to talk about this episode of AEW Dynamite. As always, it's going to be a good time. But I'm going to be honest today, Reg. I'm a little bit on the negative side for today. I'm going to be honest with everybody here. This was my least favorite episode of Dynamite in a very long time.
That's fair. There was some points where I was like, that's interesting with the big question mark afterwards. So I understand.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I think everything that was set up for this show, there was nothing on today's show where I went, oh my God, that is freaking awesome. And for that reason, I wasn't too crazy about the show. And obviously, we'll talk more about everything that went down. But yeah, I was like, damn, what a bummer. I want to come on here and be like, woo, I loved what we saw today. And granted, there were a couple of things that I liked, but I just thought overall, this episode of Dynamite just did not hit the mark for me. My standards are too high now at this point, Reg.
I mean, when they're giving us bangers after bangers after bangers, weeks after weeks, some of them aren't going to hit the most. I think the backs of this one is these announcements that gets people in a certain kind of things. And when those don't live up to expectations, if everything else doesn't hit as hard, people are going to feel a type of way.
Exactly. And we got a mixed reaction here on the chat. We got a couple of people saying, what? I love today's show. There's other people saying this show did not hit the mark either. And so I'm seeing a little bit of a difference of reactions in terms of how people felt about today's show. But you know what? I will say this, though. I know I'm not wrong here, because if not, there would have been a majority of people really just bombarding the chat saying that this show was great. And I'm seeing mixed reactions. So that tells me that I wasn't the only one here that kind of felt that today's show kind of missed the mark a little bit. But I want to get started with what you were talking about, and that is Tony Khan's major announcement. Now, Reg, you and I know, everybody knows that at this point, Tony kind of gets mocked a little bit now online for these major announcements, because everything is a major announcement and people are like, everything can't be a major announcement, right? And so we know this now. And so when he announced this on Twitter, I'm like, okay, it's the end of the year. He was mentioning worldwide. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe we're finally going to get some information on the streaming deal when that's officially going. A couple of other people thought that maybe an announcement for an additional overseas show, because we already knew obviously about AEW All In being in London next year again. But the announcement ended up being just that the tickets for AEW All In 2024, August 25th, 2024, are going on sale December 1st. Reg, what did you think of the major announcement?
Major announcement, important announcement. Any buzzword before announcement is gonna be weird. He could have just said, I have an announcement, and it would have been fine. I think the point that got people caught up is people saying, important announcement. This isn't important to you. To Tony Khan, this is very important. To the UK crowd, this is very important. To All In, this is very important. So it depends on where you land with it. It wasn't that bad to me. I didn't go into this episode being like, I really wonder what this announcement is. So I wasn't as caught up in it, but I do understand why people are upset about it.
And I think the reason why you weren't caught up on it was because we've been through this before, where there's been these major announcements and you're just sitting there like, womp, womp. That was the major announcement. Mm-hmm. So, and I do agree with what you said, by the way, because I was trying to look at this from a different perspective. And if you're Tony Khan, this is clearly a huge announcement, because this is your company and you're taking a gamble on running Wembley Stadium. Like, you took a gamble running it once, but now you're running it twice. And we know that things, when they're done for the first time, they're always, extra special, right? They're gonna, succeed. But when you do it again, you're really risking it, right? Are you going to get the same numbers? Is it going to be the same amount of people? Is it going to be drastically less? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's up in the air too, Denise, because you don't know. There's a lot of people that coming out of that show were like, well, next year I'm not going to do what I did this year. I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to do all that. They're going to have to do something really big and insane to get me there. So they have to start this early, Denise. They have to get the ticket sales out the gate. They don't want to be coming up to the last days like, wonder if we could sell more. They got to start the push now. And if you got to make announcements like this to get people to remember it, then this is what has to happen. He's a promoter too, Denise. Don't forget, I have to promote. If I have to say important announcement, I have to say big, huge announcement to get you to watch. That's what I'm going to do.
Right. And that's the thing I get, because it is such a big gamble and a big risk to run Wembley Stadium again. Where are you going to make the announcement when you know you're going to get the most views? Right. That is AEW Dynamite. So from a promoter standpoint, I 1000% get why Tony Khan made this a big announcement, why it's a big announcement to him and for AEW. I think more so for the fans within maybe just the United States, or the ones that aren't planning on traveling to the show. I think everybody just had different expectations for the announcement. Again, just different things in mind, man. And it was funny too, because I was like waiting. I'm like, is there going to be another announcement?
Like, is that it?
I was waiting for the first announcement. I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe, because I was getting ready to tweet Tony Khan's announcement. And then I thought, you know what? Maybe I should wait and make sure there's not anything else that I don't have to like put it out there and look like a fool,
Yeah, I knew as soon as Nigel McGuinness was standing there, I was like, this announcement isn't going to be what people thought it was going to be. And then when he started getting into it, I was like, people are going to feel a type of way about this because it's not up to their expectations. But Denise, let's keep it real. Is it ever up to their expectations? Even if when it is a huge announcement, people are still like, well, why wasn't it this? You know what I mean? Like, you can never win.
No, I would say, like, when I think back to some of Tony's biggest announcements, the biggest one was obviously purchasing Ring of Honor.
Right.
What other one did he do that was like really big that he made an announcement type of thing for?
The original All In.
Yeah, All In. Yeah, that one was a good one too. But then that was kind of it that I can remember off the top of my head. But pretty much. It is what it is, right? But I do think that if he would have announced like something like a streaming deal, then yeah, everybody would have been like, oh shit, finally, this is what we've been asking for, especially end of the year stuff. This is our Christmas present. But I had a feeling it was not going to be this. The second we saw the All In footage, that's when I realized it was going to be something else. But I will say this, you want to know what the most shocking part of this announcement was?
What?
That Tony Khan and his family have had their Christmas tree up since July.
Why is that shocking?
What are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? I'm the person that's like, okay, we got to move on with our holidays and go as is, right? Excuse for today, right? Because we're still in Halloween costumes. But the point is that like the proper timing for a Christmas tree, and I'm curious to see what the chat's going to say about the proper timing. But in my opinion, the proper timing is the first week of December.
Denise, these are billionaires. Like we're living regular lives right here, talking on microphones, having Halloween costumes, eating top ramen for dinner. These are billionaires. Billions, Denise. We will never even know what that is to mean. They could have a Christmas tree up all year and we can't say nothing about it. They probably have an actual forest in their house. Probably isn't a Christmas tree, just their forest room.
A forest room? Yeah, like, yes, we have our own personal place where we grow our trees and we go pick them out. No, this year I think I do need to go earlier because you want to know what happened last year to me? I went to go shop for a Christmas tree. The ugly ones were left, and the one I got came with a tail.
What does that even mean?
I shit you not. My Christmas tree had a tail. And I told the people at Home Depot, I love this tree, but it has a tail. Can you cut off the tail? And they were like, oh, yeah, whatever. So they wrap up the tree. They put it in the car. We get home and the tail is still there. Damn. We had to cut the tail off ourselves. Do you know how hard that was?
That sounds like an unfortunate situation. I want to see you go and cut it down yourself, Denise. That's some content right now. That's some Denise Salcedo YouTube content. You out in the forest with the young lumberjack shirt, a big axe, and you're just going at it. You're not into it?
No, definitely not. Power tools, knives, and weapons and things like that.
It's not a weapon.
I can't. Like, I hate it. I can't even hold a knife without feeling like scared. I'm not kidding you. Like, I do not wash the knives in this house. Like, I will wash all the dishes, but somebody else has got to wash the knives.
But why though? Do you have like some crazy instinct where you're like, I got a knife, I'm gonna stab you? Like, or you think you're gonna stab yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that something crazy is gonna happen, and like I'm gonna chop off my fingers or something. Okay. I don't know. I have this like unrealistic fear of knives. Or what if all of a sudden the chamuco like enters me, and all of a sudden I'm out there trying to kill people? You get me?
Denise turns into Bloody Mary. Somebody says 3 times Bloody Mary. Denise just starts stabbing people.
Yes, you see, like that's like it's terrifying to me. So it will not happen.
Also, pretty creepy, okay, Denise. Denise's husband, please continue to wash all the knives because she sounds scary. She'll need to you need to lock up the knives at this point.
Oh my God. All right, let's get to these super chats. First and foremost, I want to thank Sheldon Jackson for sending in 10 memberships to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Sheldon. He also sends in a super chat saying, please take TK next year for Full Gear 2024. Can we not have a title theft storyline, please? Last year for Full Gear, Nyla Rose stole the TBS title. This year, Switchblade steals the world title. Dang, I didn't even pick up on that. Did you, Reg?
No, I just thought about it now, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess so. How do you feel about that, Denise?
To be honest, Sheldon Jackson broke the news to me right now. And like, it wasn't something that I even remembered. And I think part of the reason is I didn't remember Nyla Rose stealing the title bout. And I'm just remembering that right now. So, but I think it's different. I think it's different because it's Jay White and MJF, and the feud is just, a lot more grand. So for that reason, I guess it's fine. And for the reason that I didn't remember, I'm not going to get upset about something that I didn't even
remember, Denise? You know
why?
What show it took place on?
Why?
Rampage, the show that you never watch.
I was watching Rampage back then. I hadn't given up yet.
Did you? Do you remember that storyline?
I even remember Nyla rolling up in her little car, and it was Halloween time, and I think she was like dressed up too, and she rolled up in her car and she was doing all this comedy stuff with it. See, I remember. Okay, I hadn't given up on Rampage yet.
All right. Okay, I'm in. See, you do remember. What are you talking about here? What are you talking about?
I didn't remember until Sheldon brought it up, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Doppelganger 399 says, if Hobbs does not slam Big Show, I'll be annoyed.
You know what time it is. Big Show, count your days, big boy. You better take all the spine buster bumps you can. You better get in there with Arn Anderson. You better get in there and with somebody because your time is coming. Denise, I can't wait to talk about this Big Show thing.
Me too. NY Green says, loving the costumes. Thank you so much to NY Green for this very generous super chat. We appreciate it, man. Seriously. Chi-Town Spurs says, there used to be a pro wrestling show over there. This comedy stuff is not doing it for me. It's too many prominent parts of the card. Reg got to sing Oh Happy Day now.
When Jesus was. Y'all are so funny, dude. That's it. I'm not getting into it, Denise.
Oh, I was giving you the floor. If you want,
No,
I can
I
give
don't
you
want
a
the
solo.
floor.
Get
I
a
do
solo.
not want the floor, Denise. No, take this off of this, Denise. Why do you got me on here? Do not give me a solo.
I was gonna give you you know how many people fight for solos?
I don't want not at all. Put me in the group and put me in the back.
Oh man. But no, real talk though. Do you feel there's too much comedy in AEW?
Yes. When the world champion is involved in a lot of comedy, and a lot of what Max is into is comedy, it sometimes can be too much. Like, I want him to get serious. Look what happens when he gets serious, Denise. We're all like, yeah, when he comes out and does one of those fiery promos where he's not trying to pop the crowd or do whatever babyface thinks he's doing. We're like, yeah, we're into it. And then when he's into the comedy stuff, it's like, it's been funny. There's been some good Roderick Strong moments, good Adam Cole moments, but I'm like, get serious, dude. So I do understand. Too much? Maybe. We're walking a pretty fine line, I think.
Right. And I get you, because when I was watching today, when I was thinking about this JY MJF storyline, I feel like aside from the initial promo that we got from both of these guys, I feel like we haven't gotten too much more FaceTime between them in terms of promos. Because they did do like another one afterwards, but it wasn't too memorable in my opinion. I felt like they could have gone more. And given that MJF and most of his feuds in AEW have all been very memorable because of the promos that we get in it, I feel like that is the one thing that I would have wanted to see just a little bit more of with him and Jay White. And that's not even to say, because the comedy stuff doesn't bother me, but I mean, this man has your championship belts. Like, this man has your triple B, that is your life and your soul. So you should be more upset about that.
Yeah, so it's like, I'd like to think back in history, like The Rock was a champion like that. He always had some like funny elements and things going on there. But when it was time to get serious, it was time to get serious. And MJF gets serious and it works. But when you got all other types of things going on in the show, Denise, like Tony Storm and Juice Robinson's acted crazy, and there's all these other kind of wild elements, it might start to seem like a lot.
And we got one here from John Deller, who says, what's Reg's opinion of timeless Tony Storm? It just seems like pure cinema to me.
You know what? In the case of cinema with Tony Storm, it's different because she's actually trying to do the cinema thing. I haven't been into the cinema thing in a long time. It's good for you to refresh that there. We had given up because they finally stopped spamming it with every single wrestling angle that happened. So good one, John. Appreciate you.
It's almost, you know what? I remember there was a period of time where every match was a clinic.
Yeah.
Dude, that got on my nerves so badly. And you know when it started getting on my nerves? When I started using it, I was like, this is not even in your vocabulary, girl. What the frick are you doing? And that's when I was like, you know what? Everyone's saying clinic too much, that now you're sticking it to me. I don't want to say clinic. I'm so glad no one's saying clinic anymore.
Well, now it changed to banger. Everything's a banger now.
I'm good with banger. I think banger's
like
a fun word. Yeah, I like banger, but I don't like clinic.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
Delayed Grad says, show was good, but nothing spectacular. Advanced tickets for Wembley. A few decent matches. Weird direction for Sky Blue and the Big Slow. That's from Delayed Grats. I was a little bit surprised by the direction in which we went with Sky Blue. We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you so much to Delayed Grats. We got one here from Rafael Garcia, who says, the first and last match were great, but other than that, it felt like the whole show was mid. And do they cut crowd mics because the crowd went mild? I didn't notice anything differently from the crowd today than I do from other shows. Did you, Reg?
Yeah, no, I just think that just wasn't hidden for the crowd. I don't think it was anything about them not being mic'd. I think it was just wasn't anything for them to go super crazy over.
Grapple Geekery says, your Rhea costume is my second favorite, or is my favorite this year. And Golda's second. My all-time favorite is still your HBK. Points for Reggie Goldberg, too. My costume yesterday was actually El Santos, but buddy, Blue Demon. I can't talk today. Jesus, I'm going to blame it on this neck thing. I'm like stumbling over my words here. Like, girl, go back to freaking developmental. I'm going to get them back.
You're down to NXT, Denise. You're out of here.
I got kicked off the main roster. I'm going back to developmental. All right. So seriously, though, thank you so much for the support. I've been very happy with the way that my costumes have been received this year. So thank you so much to Grapple Geekery. Yes,
how do you do it, Denise? It's so labor intensive. It's back to back the Goldust thing and how do you make time for it? I guess is the real question when you have 100 jobs already.
Honestly, I don't know, but all I did was like picture it in my head, go on Amazon, see what I can find, and then just like pray to God that it all pieces together.
It works every time, Denise. Look at you. Does it not work sometimes? Do you have an idea and you're like, man, this is going to be dope, and you start go through it and you're like, I can't do this.
There's only one costume that I've done that I didn't like, but I wasn't expecting to like it very much, and it was my Seth Rollins costume because it was literally just the pink blazer and his mask. So it really wasn't anything too special. And I thought, oh, that's super mid, Denise. Like, you could have done better. But that was probably the harder, Denise. Yeah, honestly, for reals. That's the only one I didn't like.
Okay.
Yes, Boy says, shout out to Denise for boiling her first egg. Thank you, Yes, Boy. Reg, don't ask questions. I was hoping you wouldn't ask questions.
Shout out to Denise for boiling her first egg.
There's nothing to read into. It's literally boiling the first egg.
That's not like it's not sexual innuendo.
No, it's not an innuendo.
Like you just first you
boiled
just got
my
like
first
an egg.
Yes.
Why, Denise? How old are you?
31.
And next question would be, why not until 31 have you boiled an egg?
Because I don't cook.
Third question is, how come you don't cook? Because
I suck.
And I'm not even one of those like, you have a husband, you need to cook for your husband. You need to cook for yourself, dude. Like, what do you do when you're hungry?
So my
some Cheez-Its and shit. Denise, you can't be eating like a teenager.
Well, I mean, I do that, but
yeah, I know.
Wait, how do you know?
Because I have to be seeing your snacks. You be posting them.
No, okay. So usually what we normally do is on Sundays, my husband cooks for the both of us, and then he like packages all the meals, and then I take it out of the refrigerator and pop it into the microwave, and that's I reheat it. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I normally eat dinner. But recently in the last week, I've started cooking because I don't cook. And so I cooked for the first time. I sent the picture. It was so funny because I sent the picture to Will. And you know, when you send something to Will, somebody else is going to find out. And all of a sudden I had everybody going, hey, I want to see what you cooked. And I'm like, God damn, now everybody knows. The word spread.
You just threw the homie under the bus real quick too, which was hilarious. But that was your first meal? Was a boiled egg? That's a wild first meal.
No, that was part of it. It was part of it.
Okay.
Will Chisholm
he's giving it up today. We better move on.
I was like, why are you telling it? Why are you talking about my fucking cooking skills? Will Chisholm says, I don't think it helps having that video that with Doja Cat and the women. Some people thought it might be a women's pay-per-view. I saw that. I thought that was pretty cool. But I do think a couple of people thought that it might have been like a hint towards something.
Yeah.
Did you think that?
No, I didn't like think the video? That. No, I love the video. I don't like that people started to create their own narratives off of it. Like, I just thought it was a cool video, and people are like, it's gonna be all these things, and it's like, is it, Denise? Did you watch that and think like it was up for the women's division?
No, I watched it and I thought, that's interesting because we don't ever see them do stuff like this for the women. That was my initial thought when I saw the video. I thought, finally they're promoting the women, but why? Why specifically? It was a very cool video, though. I don't know. We'll see. Matt Logan says, what about the remix of the Big Show theme? Also, thanks for a gift of free membership for 1 month. Yeah, that was all Sheldon Jackson. So thank him for that. Thank you, Sheldon, for that. And then there was a remix for the Big Show theme?
People are saying that, but that's when it was happening. There was so much going on. I just wasn't listening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I remember his theme, his original AEW theme as well as much as some other people might. So I didn't even notice it was a remix.
I don't know.
Brandon Roseanne says, I'm way more interested in who the man behind the devil mask is, but I feel like they haven't provided many clues to move that story thread forward. I feel like it was the biggest thing coming off of one show. And then next thing you know, like, it's sporadically appearing on the show. To me, it's not even that big of a deal anymore. Is it that big of a deal for you, Reg?
No, it's gotten so mixed up in different angles and them playing it at different times that now it's just like, whenever we do find out of it, it's not going to hit as hard as it could have hit.
No, I think they waited too long. They waited too long to do the reveal. And now it's just like, whatever. John Deller, who's a brand new member of the DWO, welcome. Thank you so much. Will Chisholm says you can thank banger after banger to Sheamus. Yes, that is true. And William Dyson sends in a super chat. Didn't write anything, but thank you so much for sending this in. All right, I'm all caught up there. And let's get to the rest of the show. So I want to get to Adam Copeland because we have been talking about how Adam Copeland needed to grow a backbone because he was like, no matter what, I'm still going to be on Christian Cage's side. And then Sting got in his face last week and was basically telling him to freaking turn the blinders off and look at what he's doing and look at what is happening. And he doesn't want, Adam to essentially change, all because of his friend, Christian Cage. And so this all leads to Adam Copeland coming out, and Christian Cage comes out and tells him that he's going to break Adam Copeland's neck. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn, Adam, you better not even think about having Christian Cage's back after this man said he's going to snap your freaking neck. And he basically said that he didn't care about his children, even though Adam Copeland has spoken about how happy his daughters were that Uncle Jay and him were working together again. And now he's out here saying he's going to break his neck in front of his children and all of this stuff. So Edge decides that he is going to partner with Sting and with Darby at Full Gear, and we are going to get this match against Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne. What'd you think of all this?
Is my streamer sound like it's going crazy, Denise? I don't know. It's having that.
You're a little laggy. You're a little laggy, but for the most part, I can see you. If you're not seeing me.
I see you and I can hear you, but I hate StreamYard and I hate your guts. I don't know why it just happens. Maybe it's a nighttime thing, West Coast. I don't know, but I'll keep talking. And if I'm sounding weird in the chat, you guys let me know.
No, you're good.
Okay. I thought that if I want to continue to have these Edge promos where he just comes out and talks and we just like this led to some stuff, but like, hey, we got a big promo from Edge. It's getting like, it's not really driving me like it was originally. Now I need some action. I'm glad that they're getting to the action. It seems like they're storytelling some things. I'm still thinking that Edge is going to turn on the boys. I got even more kind of a confirmation with what happened tonight. I think Edge is going to be with his boy Christian, and he threw you off guard in the air. Like, I can't believe he said that about his neck. And that's how they get you.
So wait,
at the end of this show,
moment?
When just that in general, like him going super hard on Adam Copeland and us believing that, damn, I can't believe he would say that about his friend, leads me even more to believe, because they're like plotting in the back. Yeah, then you'll say this about me, about my neck. Then you'll say this about my wife. Then you'll say this about my kids. And then we'll really get him. Yo, Edge and Christian are longtime heels in this business. They're not new to this. They're true to this.
So you think that Adam's going to turn heel then? And betray Sting and Darby?
Yes.
You know what? I will be honest with you. I would prefer that because I don't know if I prefer Edge as a babyface or a heel, but I feel like this version right now that we're getting of Edge in AEW, it's just there. For example, like you literally just said it right now when you said, oh, they're making this big hoorah about him coming out and talking on the microphone. I was like, all right, we've heard him talk on the microphone at least like 5 times now. And the last time we heard him talk on the microphone, I was thinking, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, you're out here defending Christian. Why are you defending Christian? What are you doing here? Like, come on now, you're smarter than this. So I feel like at this point, to me, it would be a lot more interesting to see Adam Copeland alongside Christian Cage. But then at the same time, where does he fit in that picture? Because Christian Cage is kind of doing the best work that he's doing right now in terms of his heel work.
As a group, I think is where we land with this, Denise. So Edge and Christian, Adam Copeland, we're so sorry. We're so sorry, Adam Copeland, for continuously calling you Edge. But Adam Copeland and Edge as the leaders of the AEW's version of Judgment Day, and we're lit. I said that last time and people were mad, and I said it again. I'm sorry, you guys. But them two as the leader of Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus on their conniving, disgusting ways. Christian can still be who he is, Denise. But now I'm thinking about, like, is Edge... Sorry, Adam. Is Adam Copeland going to take a back seat to Christian?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me to see them together right now because, again, because what Christian is doing, I feel like either Edge would have to match that energy, and I don't know if he has it to match that energy, or if not, he's just going to be like, Christian being Christian, he's my friend and I love him, so I'm going to be with him. But I don't want to see him kind of toeing the line. Like, if he's going to side with Christian, I need him to go all in on this, man.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't want him to play the background. Like, if he goes over there, you want him to be talking about people's dads too.
I mean, maybe not that, because that's Christian's gimmick, right? You don't want to steal the guy's gimmick, but I would expect to see a meaner side of Adam Copeland come out, like challenge himself, do something different.
How do you feel about they join together and they lose Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus and it's just the two of them?
No, because I think Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus need this. Because I was really interested in the Nick Wayne angle with his mom and Christian being into his mom and Nick Wayne betraying his own family. I like that. That to me has been the most interesting part of it. Like the dynamic, I am more interested in the story between Christian and Nick Wayne than I am of Christian and Adam Copeland right now. I'll be honest.
What do you think? What do you think would change this with Edge? Just putting him in the big matches that he talked about doing when he first came in?
Yeah, I think you got to fire things up. Like the most interesting thing, in my opinion, that we've seen so far. And I will say this, the match that he had with Luchasaurus, the first match that he had, was not bad, right? But it was Luchasaurus, so nobody really cared that much. But he went out there and he proved himself, so thumbs up to Luchasaurus. But the thing that I've most been interested in with Adam Copeland has honestly been that Adam Copeland, Ricky Stark stuff that we saw in Collision. That has truly been the best stuff we've seen.
But
in my opinion,
I don't know if we were supposed to see that, Denise.
I don't care. It was good stuff, man. You know what? I was into it.
I'm like, that's not the angle.
I don't care. It was.
But that's how it is. Seriously, though, has that Luchasaurus match been the only match he's done? What's going on here?
There's got to be something else that I'm not thinking about right now because I got terrible memories. But that's honestly how I feel. I'll be honest with that. That's how I feel. We got Chris Ludek who says, amazing costumes, Denise. I still don't recommend wearing a neck strong t-shirt. I agree. Denise, Adam, and Christian need Nick and Luchasaurus to complement their act. Yes, because the whole thing with Christian coming out here and taking over as this young kid's father figure, that's some heel stuff. That's next level psychological heel work that we're seeing. This is not just a heel coming out and being like, your town sucks. You smell, that's it. No, he's doing psychological damage to Nick Wayne, who is a young, impressionable boy.
Right. But we got to get to Edge and Christian. Adam Copeland and Christian versus Sting and Darby Allin at some point. Would you agree before Sting's retirement?
For sure. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, for sure. But I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see. I have a feeling they're going to do. I don't know if Edge is going to turn. Honestly, I'm not too convinced.
We didn't see the homeboy this week that everybody was going crazy over last week. That's a plus.
One homeboy.
Woo.
Oh, Ric Flair. I was like, what homeboy? Who are we talking about? Dude, wasn't he supposed to be Sting's gift? Sting was out there. How come he wasn't out there? Wasn't he supposed to be riding the wave with Sting? Shouldn't he be out there too, riding the wave?
People were up in arms last week. They thought this was going to be every week. No mention of the homeboy this week either. So I just thought that was interesting.
Oh, I didn't really read too much into that. But my whole thing coming off of this, well, at least we know it's not Ric Flair. At least we know we're not going to get another one of Ric Flair's last matches, but happening on AEW.
We don't need it. We don't deserve it.
No, we don't. Chris Ludek, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. All right, let's press on. Let's get into the main event of the night. And this is MJF and the Acclaimed teaming up with MJF teaming up with the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold. There we go. Got that right. All right, so here's the thing about this one. We were talking earlier about MJF and all the comedy and whatnot. I liked him going about and trying to find partner. I like how they made this a thing where they weaved it in and out of the show, where I think for the most part, we all kind of had a feeling that it was going to be the Acclaimed that would team up with MJF. And I thought it was kind of fun that he was super hesitant about it. And, he tried going on these different directions. He tried to get Kenny Omega, but instead ran into Chris Jericho. So that didn't happen. And then he went and tried to go to Samoa Joe, but then he kind of backed out. Then he goes to Darby Allin's locker room and instead writes emo bitch on his door. I thought that was hilarious. So it kind of looks like he almost gave up. But the reason he finally decided to pick the Acclaimed was because he had two options. It was like you had to pick the least of two evils. It was either go with the Acclaimed or you go with Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and all those guys. So MJF finally made the choice. He sticks with the Acclaimed. He gets Acclaimed gear. So he comes out with a pink Burberry scarf. He's got a black shirt that says scissor me and pink and the little scissors. His knee pads and trunks and everything are pink too. I freaking loved this. But anyways, we come out, we have this match. It was a pretty okay match. MJF hits the kangaroo kick and behind him, Jay White comes in, hits the Blade Runner and pins MJF. So after this match, we do see the Acclaimed come out and help out MJF because he's being outnumbered by the Bullet Club. And eventually we get Max Caster showing once again his love and appreciation for MJF because Jay White's about to hit MJF with the championship belt, but instead Max Caster pushes him out of the way and he's the one who ends up taking the hit there. So what did you think of what they did here, and how are you feeling about where we're headed now with Jay White and MJF? Has anything changed your opinion about what we might be seeing at Full Gear?
No, if anything, it's been driven even deeper into Jay White's not winning this. It kind of feels like that old school build up of he's getting the one up on MJF all this way up. He got his first victory over him today. He's been having his championship for all this, just for him in the end to be a big loser. Sorry, Jay White. It's going to be unfortunate when MJF defeats you at Full Gear. This wasn't that offensive of a main event, Denise. I've seen better. I've seen worse. I'm not super into the Acclaim stuff, if I'm going to keep it 1,000.
What?
Yeah,
today was the first day where I actually started to dig it, because at first I didn't like the Max Caster stuff, that they were making them look uncool when it didn't really make sense to do that when they were like the coolest act on AEW. And I agree with you until today. Today I found it heartwarming.
Until today. That's really funny. But yeah, this is the world championship, Denise. And there's elements of this that are great. The thing that happened after Collision with, shout out to my big homie in the back watching them too. I don't know what that means, but I'd like to know more. Like, why is my big homie watching the world champion, which is great. But all these people being after him, I think Jay White pinning him and then the aftermath of kind of being like, it's still like MJF, people are out for MJF, it's over for him, it's all this stuff is great. But the Acclaim stuff feels like a subplot, and I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but something about it feels off in this story here that they're telling with MJF.
So you know what I think is going to happen here with this whole story? Adam Cole is supposed to be a good guy, right? He's supposed to be MJF's friend. They're supposed to be buddies, brochachos, whatever the hell they're calling each other. At one point, I think we're kind of expecting a turn, right? Whether it be Adam Cole, whether it be MJF. They kind of let that go for a while, right? They went out there, they had their match at All In. It was sportsmanship, whatever. I have a feeling that when Adam Cole turns on MJF, or if he does, that this is where it's going to come into play, where Max Caster and the Acclaim end up being his true friends, because they wouldn't be the ones to betray him the way that Adam Cole did. So it's kind of like one of the situations where the person you thought was your friend really isn't your friend, and it's the person that you didn't even want to be friends with that ends up really, truly being your friend. Is that too complicated?
No, that's a very simple story, but that sucks.
You think it sucks? Yeah. I don't know.
That's
the only thing I can come up with.
I don't want him. I guess that where I land is I don't want babyface MJF. So
you're done with him, babyface MJF.
I'm done. I'm over it. I don't like it. You see what kind of, like, why are you still doing the kangaroo kick? You're the goddamn world champion.
But it's over though. People lose their shit when he does the kangaroo kick.
It's over.
Done. Not into it anymore. All right, let's see what we got here.
This is a clinic, Denise.
No, don't, Reg, don't. My ears burn. They're on fire. We got a super chat here from Will Chisholm who says, why is our girl Willow keeps taking L's? She won the Owen and she beat Mercedes Moné. Willow is walking money print. Yeah, it's true. She does take a lot of L's. And since you brought it up, we might as well get into that match right now. Hikaru Shida versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Championship. I don't think anybody here was expecting the title to change hands by any means, but this was a good match, man. Willow goes in there. She has a really awesome drop kick that she does off the second rope. That looks really cool. Shida does a crossbody onto Willow that I also thought looked great. Avalanche Falcon Arrow from Shida to Willow, and Willow literally kicks out at 1. I thought that was possibly like the best moment of this entire match. She gained some momentum, hit Shida with the pounce, but Shida hits her katana and wins the match. And then afterwards, here's the thing though, we'll get to this in a second. So afterwards, we end up getting Tony. She ends up coming out and she's being super dramatic. She's doing her whole little thing that she does. And Shida goes up there and she's like fucking had it with Tony. So she just goes in there, bam, knee to the face, liked that. But then the lights go out and Julia Hart ends up coming out and she's confronting Willow. And so you're thinking something's going to happen there. But instead, we end up seeing Julia. Instead, we see Blue Sky coming out. I got confused right now. It's like all of these.
It was kind of confusing. That's why.
Yeah, got confused for a second. Blue Sky comes out, and she ends up confronting Willow, and then she spits the mist into Julia's face. So it was kind of like this swerve where you thought that Sky Blue was going to align herself with Julia, but instead she ends up misting Julia and helping out Willow in this situation, I guess. So that's kind of what happened here. Damn it, Reg. Maybe you would do a better job of explaining this than I did.
The match was really fun. Of course, I mean, what can you expect? Hikaru Shida has been on a great run as the AEW Women's World Champion. I love the way that she reacts every time that Toni Storm's music hits. She hates it. She's like, why is she out here? She'll say a cuss word out loud, an American cuss word. She's been great in that. For her to get her kind of revenge today and hit her with the knee, I thought was great. Toni Storm played great. The ending angle felt like a Rampage angle, and Denise doesn't watch Rampage, so why are we invested in that? Denise, were you on the side of wanting Sky Blue to turn and be with Julia Hart?
Yes, because that's what I thought we were doing. I thought we were going with a heel Sky Blue. That's what I thought the whole change in her was, the new makeup, the more aggression. So I thought we were going in an entirely different direction with Sky Blue.
Yeah, that's fair to say. And I think a lot of people were kind of on that side. So this swerve even swerved the people that thought they were going to see the swerve originally. So I thought that kind of hit. I don't know. I don't want a Willow. I think she's such a great baby face. They have to continue to utilize her how they did earlier this year. And it's funny because they brought that up on commentary of like, she started having this amazing year in the beginning and stuff's been weird. Get back to that. Have her as a baby face. The kill thing was a good tease, but like, Willow's a major baby face, and you've been telling us this whole year that Sky Blue's a major baby face. So keep him a baby face, and let's keep this going on.
So the other reason why I'm expecting Hikaru Shida to lose the title at Full Gear, I know we kind of already predicted that it's going to be Toni Storm, but the other thing that I feel kind of gave it away was that commentary was really pushing how Hikaru Shida has had all of these defenses in this short time period. Yep. So I feel that when she loses the title, they're going to be like, oh, well, it's okay because she did all of these defenses right in that middle. So I feel like they kind of continuously give it away that she is, that the title is changing hands.
It's like when Aussie Open was ROH champions for a little bit of time and they did like 7 defenses, like back to back to back because they were about to win.
I'm fucking done, Reg. I can't anymore.
I just wanted you to continue to adjust it the whole podcast. Like, she's going to keep doing it. She's not going to say anything about it. She's going to keep adjusting and going because she's a professional. That's how she does.
Dude, there was a hairnet. Where the fuck did the hairnet's not even here anymore? I don't even know what happened to the hairnet. I gave up, though. I'm done. I don't want to be nothing no more.
Until next year, Denise, you're signing off as Halloween. You did it, girl.
I'm
4 for
done.
4, like the Wendy's menu. You got it. You got your shit in.
I got my shit in. I'm fucking done. I've been
So
sweating
funny,
bullets there.
Oh,
Oh God.
now Denise looks like Matt Jackson is hella funny.
I look like the young buck. Super kick party. I can't even super kick right now properly.
Oh man.
Oh
Ooh.
shit. A costume that turns into a costume.
Look at that. She's
Matt
thinking
Jackson.
years ahead. Denise is always on top of things. She knew this was gonna happen. She's like, I can rip the thing off and then I'll be another costume.
Yeah. Oh man, what the hell were we even talking about? We were talking about the women. All right, cool.
Oh, you were saying that they predicted, they gave you even more that Toni Storm's going to do it. We both are still in agreement that Toni Storm is walking out of Full Gear as the AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I do think that's where we're pretty much headed. We got a couple of super chats here. This one's from Will Chisholm, who says, I know Willow wasn't going to win, but it's matches before. I hate the fans there. Didn't give a damn. Sad for Willow and Sheeta. Did you feel like the fans didn't give a damn? I probably was too focused in on the match that I didn't notice what the crowd reaction was for this one.
Yes, kind of same as that super chat earlier. It's like, I didn't really notice the crowd or what was going on because I was so focused on what was going on in the ring.
Right. And I think a big piece of it too is that Willow doesn't have like any storylines on Dynamite. Right. So if you're consistently watching Dynamite and nothing else, you don't know what's going on with Willow.
And someone brought up in a tweet that Willow just lost the #1 contenders match very recently, and for her to get a title match immediately after that could seem off for people that follow along like that, but it doesn't matter. They're just trying to stack these Sheeta wins, like Denise is saying.
Right, exactly. Delayed Grad says, what did Max Caster say that got censored on TV? Dude, so much of it was muted. Did you see what he said at all on social media or anything?
Oh, yeah, the feed that I was watching had the whole thing, but it didn't seem that offensive to me.
What was it?
I can't even remember. Like, it was just some rap.
Really? Because like half of it was muted. The only parts that I heard was the part about pubic hair. And then the other part was when they called the Gunn's New Japan rejects. Yeah. That was literally it. Everything else was muted.
It's nothing crazy, honestly. He was just rapping.
Was it bad words or anything?
No, I can't even, like, it was so insignificant that I don't even remember. I'm like, what are y'all even talking about?
Because if it was super offensive, then they wouldn't have ever let him even say that. Mm-hmm. So, that's interesting. All right. Delayed Grads, thank you so much for the super chat for asking that question there. We'll see what else we got here. All right. So I want to go ahead and rewind a little bit over into the Orange Cassidy, Claudio Castagnoli match for the AEW International Championship. So before we get into the actual matchup here, unfortunately, Bryan Danielson is injured. He's got the orbital bone injury that he's got. He's going to be getting surgery, or he got surgery today, something like that. But he's supposed to be out for a little while, not too long. They're expecting him, I think they said on commentary, before the end of the year. So with that being said, damn, this sucks, man. Bryan has been getting injured a lot. And even he said it himself in that press conference. He said that he's not, blind to the fact that every time he has a big match, he comes out with an injury. And I feel like, I don't know, but I get the feeling, and I'm trying to push the feeling away, but I get the feeling that we're just getting a lot closer to Bryan Danielson's retirement.
Yeah, Denise, he did an interview earlier this year where people ask him, they keep asking about the G1. And he's like, dude, I can't do the G1. Every big match that I have, it's like, I need these weeks off. I need to do this. I get hurt or something crazy happened. And it feels like that. Every big match we've got from him this year has been an absolute banger, 5 stars, amazing match. But he comes out with some crazy kind of injury. And it's like somebody saying Birdie was right. Yeah, like when he said that this is going to be the retirement tour, I wasn't one of those like, no, we need to keep going. Like he's having this run. Like we have a great catalog of Bryan Danielson matches, 20 plus years. We've seen him do everything. One of the greatest of all time. We should just be done here, I think, because I don't want to continue to see him getting, and they're not just like little injuries, Denise, like an orbital bone. Like what? Like that's not a normal ass injury. And then his arm got broken. They're like major injuries, stuff that set him back. I want him to be able to, have the time with his kids and stuff. I don't think we need to sacrifice that for great matches because he's already had so many of them.
Right. And I feel like they can, I mean, no matter what, Brian's always going to be, you know, doing something right. If he wants behind the scenes, whatever it is that he wants to do, he can definitely do that. But it is getting closer, I think, to the point now where it's becoming a little obvious that maybe this is just a sign from the universe saying it's time to start wrapping it up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because at some point it just becomes, you know, too much, right? But I mean, that's not a decision that nobody can make other than him. So we'll see what is to come. But anyways, I just have that feeling that we're getting closer to the end of, like, you know, continuously seeing him wrestle actively every week, because I know he did do an interview, I think it might have been with Sports Illustrated, where he said that he wouldn't mind doing like a couple matches here and there, like never fully retiring, but like maybe one match a couple of months, right? Something like that. So I don't know what we'll end up seeing. But anyways, this match here with Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli, I'll be honest, they did the things. They went out there, they hit the moves. It was a good match. I didn't think it was a great match, but I thought it was good. We end up seeing Orange Cassidy get his victory here. Is there anything that really stood out to you in this body of this match?
You didn't like it, Denise?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I've just seen more spectacular stuff.
I thought it was pretty exceptional, like as just like two guys just going at it with grapples and reversals and just kind of that feel of what we got of them in that tag match. There was an extended version of that. Some people this style of wrestling could be a lot because there's a lot going on and there's a lot of intricacies that you have to really understand what's going on to really get it. And this was that kind of match. So I do understand, but I thought the shit banged. I thought they were the reversals, the thing into the big swing with the reverse.
Oh yeah,
the Tijeras, like, yo, this is crazy.
Into the DDT. Then all of a sudden there's a big swing. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But
yeah,
it was a big moment. That was cool.
It was fire. And I think more importantly, on top of that, Denise, I'm just liking the thing that Claudio, the year that he's had and the position that he's been in and the matches that he's had. People, it's funny because we keep saying this about people in AEW. Like when he left WWE, people thought he was washed. Like they thought he was done. They were like,
Claudio.
Yeah, they were like, oh, his career was this. He did this in WWE, but this guy's not washed, man. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he's gotten this year and since the entire time he's been in AEW to really show who he is.
You know, I never thought that he was washed because to me, it was clearly obvious that WWE just didn't really see much. And so they didn't put any effort into actually doing anything with him. Because do you remember when he had that feud with Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
And it was kind of brief, but he got very, very over during
at the end.
At the very end, exactly. And so, I mean, like, given that, I feel like had they kept that kind of push for him throughout the years, then I don't think people would have been over Cesaro back then. But yeah, I mean, this is totally polar opposite. Like, all of a sudden, I feel like Claudio Castagnoli got lost, like, how do I explain this? He was presented on AEW like if he was 10, 15 years younger.
Right. Yeah, that I understand why you say, how do I say this? Because it's like, I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, no, they don't make it like he's a super 20 plus veteran wrestler. They're just like, this guy's badass. He's strong. He'll kick your ass. He's cool. Like, you don't get the idea that he's on his last days. It's like, no, this guy could go for another 15 years at the highest level. And I think that's what's really cool about it.
Exactly. Versus in WWE, it was like, oh, it's Cesaro. They just have him there on the roster. That's it.
He's balding. He's this. He's this.
Yeah, you see what I mean? And like, so it was just like a difference in like the presentation of it all. But anyways, post-match, we do see Jon Moxley come out and he just like savagely attacks Orange Cassidy and just starts like wailing at him like massively. We are going to be seeing Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship at Full Gear. We've seen them wrestle before at All Out, and it was freaking amazing. They did phenomenal work together, so I'm expecting this one to be just as good. What did you think of Jon Moxley's promo and just the fact that we're going to be seeing this match again?
The match, it's like I want them to get to it, so I'm happy that they're doing it because I was unfortunate that like all this stuff keeps happening around the title and Jon Moxley. But this promo, Denise, woo-wee, this is one of those prime. Jon Moxley really knows what he's doing when he gets on the mic. Sold the match like no other. You think that all the matches you've seen of Jon Moxley and the crazy stuff that he's done, you're like, well, he might do the craziest things he's ever done to Orange Cassidy, just because that's how he sold the match. He's so good at everything. It's insane, and I think the match is going to be great. And Full Gear, I'm liking what they're doing with the card building here.
It's starting to shape up, actually, and we'll talk about the card in just a second, but I want to get to Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho versus Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. And this is, I'll be honest with you, and I'm just going to be so fucking
You don't
honest.
like 2.0.
You know I don't like 2.0. God damn, I'm sorry. I've tried. No, I'm not. You know what? I'm lying to you. I didn't even try. Reg, I didn't even try.
I know you did it. When the match was happening, I'm like, oh, Denise is not having fun.
The match happened, I think it was like 6:17-ish around there in my clock. I was debating, Reg. I was about to message you on DMs and I was about to go, this match sucks. This show sucks. This all sucks today. I didn't like anything on the show because this match was just not for me. And I was sitting there going, why the hell are we sitting here seeing Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega team up together? Like, why? Like, that's so freaking cool, right? Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. They're going up against Angelo Parker and Matt Menard.
Denise, let me first say I like those guys. I think 2.0, Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, great, talented people. But big BUT, Kenny Omega. And like what happened afterwards, shout out to my partner and co-host Phil Lindsay. We got to get Kenny Omega out of here because why is he teaming up with the Big Show? I like the Big Show, big fan. The Giant, 1995, he fell off the top of the sports center, landed on the ground. He died, Denise, but he came back this very same night to confront that bastard, the worst wrestler of all time, Terry Bollea. And the Yeti was there too. He's had a lot of great moments, Denise, but, what's he doing here?
Well, we kind of knew already when Chris Jericho had said he had some big friends. I think everybody kind of predicted last week that it was going to be Paul White. But
did it hit for you?
No, nothing of this hit for me. Nothing. I'm like, this wasn't for me, Reg. It just wasn't. And I know we have JD Varnell here who says time filler. I'm sorry, but like Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega should not be in no time filler. Like Kenny Omega is part of the Elite. The Elite is in AEW. That is the blood of AEW. I need to see them pump out some good shit right there because this just wasn't for me at all. But what I did like, though, because it felt a little bit more serious, was the backstage altercation that we saw because we ended up seeing that the Young Bucks, which, by the way, they were super pissed off because they had lost their match earlier in the night when they had a match against the Mogul Embassy and with Hangman Adam Page. They ended up losing that match because Swerve came out and he reminded Hangman Page that he was out in his house last week. So Hangman Page went and chased him off. So it ended up becoming a 3-on-2. And so that is how they ended up taking the L, and Mogul Embassy ends up winning. So after the match, they were like Matt Jackson was like throwing chairs and all of this. He was super pissed. So then backstage, we're seeing Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho being interviewed by Renee Paquette. And the Young Bucks confront them and they're like, there's been enough melodrama in this locker room. Why did the Elite get back together if we don't even have each other's back? And who invited him, as in Chris Jericho? We still remember what he did to our dad, and he's cut from the same cloth as Don Callis. And so Kenny tries to kind of soothe things over by saying, no, it's the enemy of my enemy kind of thing. But the Young Bucks, they leave angrily. They're pissed off. And you know what? I agree with the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega knows Chris Jericho's history. He knows what he did to their dad. We know all this stuff. So what is he doing? He's supposed to be friends with the Bucks here. The Bucks, I know why they're pissed. I agree with them.
I thought that was kind of the best part of the whole exchange. Everything that you kind of hated about what happened in the ring, I thought the Young Bucks backstage segment kind of brought it around because now Kenny Omega can sit back and be like, well, what the hell am I doing? Why am I with Chris Jericho? Why is the Big Show my partner? Why aren't I with Nick and Matt Jackson? Why aren't I with Hangman Page helping them out? What the hell am I doing over here? Me and Kota Ibushi could be tag team champions. Why the hell am I teaming up with Chris Jericho? So I really like what they did there. And I like the match that they did earlier. Swerve and Nana running off after Hangman came after him was hilarious. I thought all that was good. But yeah, Big Show.
It's a thing. It's the thing. It's the thing that we're doing. So we are going to be also seeing, by the way, Kota Ibushi is also part of this. So it looks like they're really hyping up the Ontario, California show, by the way.
You about to be there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not going to go to Ontario because it literally takes like an hour to drive to Ontario because there's so much traffic in that area.
And
like
it's just a Wednesday too.
No way. In rush hour, no way. I am not making the drive
that.
to Ontario. It would be too much for me. So anyways, but regardless of this, I thought that the backstage altercation was the best part of like literally the entire show because I thought that it was actually kind of leading somewhere or at least hinting at going in a certain direction.
For everybody involved, right? It wasn't
for everybody because it's like, yeah, the Young Bucks were rightfully pissed off at Kenny. Kenny just can't stand by and be like, oh, I'm gonna be friends with everybody. No, you can't do that. Friend to all is a friend to none. No,
especially if you're being a friend to him while we're getting our ass kicked out here, dude. Where were you?
Exactly. So I feel like this has to lead to something here within the Elite. And hey, you know what? Things are not all great at home with the Elite right now, so they got to figure things out. And I'm curious to see what that ends up developing into, or is it like, what is this? Clearly they're emphasizing that the Young Bucks are angry, that they're pissed. So what are they gonna do? What are we gonna get out of that? That's the best part of AEW to me today.
Because, and what's funny and ironic about this whole thing, Denise just said her favorite part about all Elite wrestling is the Elite. Who would have thought? Put these guys on TV. Why aren't they on TV? Why aren't they in major storylines? Why aren't they doing this, what they're doing here? They're giving it to us now, Denise. Maybe next week it'll be better. So
For reals. Thank you. Grapple Geekery says Jericho Vortex is as bad as the Codyverse could be.
Savage. You get in there, you get stuck.
Savage. Grapple Geekery, thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, I know the Jericho Vortex is, well, it is what it is, man. All right. Let's see. What else do we got to talk about? That's it. We talked about everything. I was going to say that's it, right? We didn't miss anything, did we?
I don't think
so. No, that was AEW Dynamite. All right, before we get into our closing of the show, I want to thank everybody who tuned in today. Seriously, we've been appreciating all of your support each and every single week. For those of you who do not know the schedule, I'm live here on Tuesdays for NXT. Wednesdays, it's myself and Reg for AEW Dynamite. Friday, I will be here for Smackdown. Saturday, I'm going to be joined by Phil Lindsay for Crown Jewel. And we're going to be doing a late night post show for Crown Jewel. So not in the morning, but in the night, we will be doing a post show. And then Sunday, I will be back to talk about AEW Collision. So it's going to be a busy week. Lots of stuff coming up here on the channel. But also, a lot of people have been leaving reviews on the Apple Pods. I read so many of them on Tuesday's show. So if you left one and you're waiting to get your shout out, I read them on the Tuesday show, so you guys can check them out. But we did get another new one. So I want to make sure to give a shout out over to Nathan Bella, who sent in a Apple Podcast review and says, I followed Denise for years now, and I've enjoyed all the content that she does, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. She continues to expand into platforms like Facebook, Apple Podcasts, etc. I DK how she does it, but she's on top of the game. And trust me, if you're looking for a wrestling podcast, this is the one. Denise, keep up the great work, man. Thank you for all the amazing content you pump out. As a Hispanic, I'm so happy to see you thrive. Keep making La Raza proud. Viva Mexico, cabrones. Nathan Vela, thank you so much for the super chat. Seriously. Like I said, guys, if you go, sorry, not super chat, Apple Podcast review, but if you guys go and leave an Apple Podcast review, I do read them here on the air every time I get them in, and they're brand new. I do read them as a huge thank you for anybody who's taking the time to leave a review. Of course, you can click on the link in the description of this video. Head on over to Instinct Culture by Denise Salcedo and help me out. I'm trying to get to 100 ratings by the end of the year. Right now, I'm sitting at 77, and so almost there. 23 more. So if you guys listen to the show and you guys enjoy it, please go and share some love. Damn, Reg, I can't talk today. I'm so like bleh.
All those podcasts. Denise, are you doing a watch along for Crown Jewel also?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay. No. I just wanted to say on record that Phil Lindsay and I are going to be on Sunday this week due to Crown Jewel being on at the time that we're usually recording our podcast. Thanks a lot, Vince, for the counter programming.
Can't compete with the Fed.
No way. You can't out Pizza the Hut, Denise. Never forget.
Alrighty, guys, that is our show. Thank you guys so much. See you guys back here on Friday for WWE SmackDown Conversation, and of course on Saturday for Crown Jewel. Reg, where can the people follow you?
At Righteous Reg on all your social medias. You can see me on Sunday this week with Philip Lindsay talking all the best in wrestling. Tomorrow I'll be on Ask Rhapsody with Philip Lindsay and the Fightful post show for Ring of Honor with Kate. And every Wednesday you can also catch me with Mike on Indeed and here with Denise. Peace.
Let's go. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.